Hello, hello, my beloved listeners. This is the Borealis Experience. I'm your host, Aurora, life coach and companion on this beautiful journey called life, student of tantric and Tao inspired sex, love, and relationship coach. I'm excited to be spending some time with you today. I hope you feel well. And if you're not feeling well, I hope I can make you feel connected, less alone on your journey. For you to know that there's somebody out there who cares to listen, who cares to hold space, and just be there with you if life is, a little tricky. And a lot of people are suffering right now. A lot of people feel uncertain about the future, feel uprooted, struggle with insomnia, struggle with restlessness, struggle with setting boundaries and expressing needs because they feel there's never the right time, never a good moment to open up and to be honest and vulnerable. Today, I want to talk about ED, erectile dysfunction, miscarriages, uh, plummeting libido. I don't know if you say plummeting, but a libido that left the body. Those things are only few of the many topics that people choose not to talk about. They choose to suffer in silence. They choose to avoid and maybe distract and run away from. And it is a very, very painful reality that many people live in. And I want to inspire people to, talk about it more. And I'm going to share a little bit about my story. But what I learned along my journey as a life coach, as an intimacy coach, is that so many people are suffering where you would think they are holding, up a nice image. They have a thriving business. They look happy on the outside, but inside it's a different reality. And there is struggle, there's suffering, there is lots and lots of shame that inhibits a person to live a happy and fulfilled life. And why do I want to share about this and talk about this? I think it is because I want people to be more compassionate with each other. The more, compassionate we are with ourselves, the more we understand our body, our behavior, who we are, the better we can take care of ourselves, and the more love we will have overflowing to the people around us. And it is only that love, that compassion that is going to make us more resilient in the future, that is going to create stronger communities around us. And let's be honest, even before COVID, but especially during or after COVID, we're all craving a strong, reliable community around us. No one ever woke up in the morning and said, "Oh, today I'm excited to feel less connected. Today I want to, feel distant and avoidant and destroy relationships." Like, that just goes totally against our very primal and raw nature. We all want to feel seen and heard. We all want to feel connected. And if we know that it starts with us by becoming real with how we feel and who we are, by having compassion with our journey, with where we're at, it is only then that we can contribute to a loving, resilient community that we want to feel around us, to feel safe and protected. When it comes to erectile dysfunction, I'm learning more and more about it, and I learn that so many men are struggling with this and earlier on in their life than expected. Like men in their mid and 20s um, are, grabbing pills over the counter already or with prescription and are trying to find help because they're scared of losing an erection. And then there's people in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s who feel that there is a shift, a change happening. And the thing is that, I'm not against porn at all. I used to consume porn in my 20s as well. But the conditioning, like the images that we receive, the do's and don't do's, the normal and not normals that we are getting instilled by society, are not really healthy and not helpful at all when it comes to, being on a journey of erectile dysfunction. The shame has people, isolate even more, run away from relationships even more. And that creates more pain and more suffering and more frustration and maybe full on aggression that is then not only used against oneself, but against the people around you. And I don't want to say that, we can trace back every shitty behavior to erectile dysfunction, but I feel some shitty behavior can be traced back to that. And to people that, feel too much shame to ask for help, feel too helpless, too powerless, feels too desperate. A person that is pushed against the wall into a corner will attack or will desperately become depressed. So if we as a society can learn that, things that are described as not normal in mass media are maybe normal, are normal reactions of our body, then we can help a lot of people to feel less isolated and less alone. With age, our body changes, with age, our sexuality changes, and we have to adapt to a new pace. We cannot cling on to images of our teenage years and our 20s and expect our body, our sexuality to stay exactly the same until we die. We have to adapt. We have to become creative. We have to stay open. We cannot shut down and think we can think we can run away. And so that's my invitation to the men out there and to the women out there who struggle with their partner struggling with ED, because for women it's very tough as well. The women feel not wanted, not desired. Most women make it about themselves, and it's creating even more pain, more shame, more pressure. And we hurt each other if we don't find new ways in relating to each other when it comes to our intimacy, our sexuality. Something else that I want to talk about is miscarriages. I myself, as you know, or as you maybe didn't know, went through 2 miscarriages last year, one of them being extremely violent. And from the start, I decided to be open about it because I also, I had to not only share this pain to feel less isolated with it, but I also had wanted people to know that I'm not, just away from my business because I'm traveling again or I'm having fun times. And I also wanted to know, and that's a big part, of my soul, of why I'm here, of my purpose, is like, can we transform this pain, and can we help the younger generation to go navigate through this pain in different ways, in less painful ways in the future. We're never going to prevent miscarriages altogether, but in talking about it and having people know that it is a possibility, it can all be approached more openly and less connected to shame and isolation. And miscarriages are different for every couple. Some couples are devastated emotionally, mentally. Some couples are devastated emotionally, mentally, and physically. And each journey is very, very unique. Um, but by, creating more safe spaces, by inviting this conversation to be more normal, again, we can help a lot of people, and we can prevent the younger generation to suffer just as much. Um, when it comes to intimacy and menopause, and there's so many more topics that we could, talk about here on this little episode here, but I wanted to pick one more topic, and it is the loss of libido when we age, and especially us women going through menopause, having this, sometimes intense, sometimes not so intense shift in our hormones. Maybe we have worked on it for a while and the transition is very smooth. Maybe we never, lost a thought on it and it catches us by surprise. It is an extreme change that happens in your body, and it is a change that happens in your hormone household. And when it comes to your libido, of course your libido is gonna be reacting or not reacting differently to your partner or stimuli. And when I talk to women, then I often feel that they feel a deep sense of worthlessness, of I don't know where, what my purpose is and where I belong to. And even though there's more and more support there for ladies going through menopause and more conversation, it is still hard for most women to realize, okay, now we need to shift gears, and now I'm going to befriend my body in new ways, and I'm going to relate to my partner in new ways. And um, to know that, the age group of, let's say, 45 plus to 70 and even older, they carry so much wisdom and so much precious knowledge, of life experiences, of being a woman in a relationship, as a single, as a caregiver, as a creatrix, that they can never forget how valuable they are in the community to the younger generation. They are safe spaces that, not only family members can come to, but also people from the community. But they need to stay open for conversation. They cannot just shut down and hide away and overly identify, with their grief and sense of loss, because we need them out there, and we need to give people who are navigating menopause, um, the possibility to talk about it, and yeah, be so like raw and honest about this journey, so that younger generations can have a smooth transition, less, weird surprises. But first and foremost, knowing that their wisdom is needed in our communities in order to make our communities strong and resilient. So, yeah, all these topics are topics that are very difficult to talk about, and most people choose to not talk about them. But I feel we need to have the courage and start talking about it, because there's so many out there who would benefit from it. There's so many out there who would um, um, feel understood and less alone in it. And this is how we can have stronger relationships and more support by making the first step, by talking about it. Um, Let me feel into this for a couple more seconds. Yeah, I was just thinking of a man's circle and how there is more and more men's circle, more and more support for the men. And if the elderly men would help younger men to understand what is going to happen eventually, and I don't want to say every man is going to struggle with erectile dysfunction, but knowing that just like a miscarriage during a pregnancy, it is a possibility that you will lose your erection along the way. And this is how what you can do. This is how you can behave. This is how you can talk to your partner about it. This is how you can invite your partner into this, new world of relating. And this is how you can navigate it together. Something else that just came up was this image. I heard about the story of how the vibrator was invented. And I find it so fascinating. And I'm probably gonna, mess it up and regurgitating that little story. But it was basically doctors finding out that if the women got stimulated down there by hand, through their doctor's hands, um, they could release tension and intense emotions through orgasm or simple, penetration. Of course, done carefully. And the more and more women came to the doctors to visit and wanted relief, and that's how they invented the vibrator, because the doctors' hands got so tired they couldn't serve as many women as needed help. And I just wondered, okay, it's one thing to invent an instrument to help these women, but why did they not invite men to learn how to, um, like, to teach the men how to give these women this intense, pleasureful release? Why was there a tool invented? Which, again, I'm grateful that it was invented and it probably helped many women, but we could have shared this experience with the world, so to say, and then we could have helped each other along the way way better. And wouldn't that have made, relationships stronger and more resilient? Um, yeah, I feel intimacy, and not just sex, but I find intimacy is so incredibly important um, when it comes to the glue of a relationship, the trust and the safety, the foundation of a relationship. That do we not want to do everything to have intimacy stay alive and maybe, feel reawakened if it has been dormant for a little while? Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to leave you with that question and connect with you next time around again with so much love and compassion, and always an ear to listen, and a space out here in Beaver Minds for you to, pour your heart out and receive coaching in regards of intimacy and relationship. Um, Yours truly, Aurora.